Why, hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I am your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today I will be teaching you how to use the auction hall properly and how to make some money on the auction hall as you go. I did a video already on money, of how to make money in LOTRO, what are some of the best ways to make money in LOTRO, but this one is going to be all about the auction hall today, all right? So we're going to talk to this nice lady here, right? What's that? Sissy, all right. Orange Blossom, hello. So this is the auction hall symbol. Well, hello. So we're now going to talk about some stuff. Now, in my other episode of how to make money best, is I talked about a lot that crafting materials, respect items, these are things that sell for a lot because you have to do work to find them or collect them or grind them to get them, so people want to buy them with their money, right? So we're going to talk about is how to use the auction hall right now. I do have an old video about how to use it, but I'm going to quickly go over it again for you guys, how to use it, how to use these little organizers so you're not confused, because it's a little confusing, right? It's a little confusing. There's a lot going on here. And then I'm also going to talk about how's the best way to make some money with it. So let's start with how to use it at first, okay? So there's three simple tasks: bids, posts, and the whole auction house, okay? So basically, the bids and posts are if you bid on something, this is where you keep track of it as it's going, right? Because everything is timed on the auction hall. You can post up to a maximum of 48 hours your item. It does cost some money to post. So for example, I'm going to open my inventory here and I'm going to post these pale flax fibers, okay? Which are a crafting item to help people get a critical chance, which means they'll get a better item, right? Which are good. So I'm going to drop these on the auction hall, but you're saying, I don't know how much to sell them for. Well, that's a good question. We should do that first, right? So we go back over the auction hall. Here's a little trick. You can just take your item, drag it, instead of having to type it out, drop it on the item thing. Don't do any of the other things and say search. All right, so if nothing shows up, you know you have no competition on the market. So you can sell it for whatever you want. But now you're thinking, well, what's a reasonable price to sell something like that for, right? Well, it's only two of them, and they only add an extra 35% chance, and this is an item level 25. So this is the second level in the crafting. It is used for tailors, and the reason I know, if you look right here on the thing at the bottom, it says this item can be used in some expert tailor recipes. So again, if you are a tailor, you can go into your crafting and you go, okay, well, tailor, expert crafting. Oh, okay, so it's this level. It's the third level of crafting, right? Oh, look, see, I can use it right there if I wanted to craft that hat. Maybe have a better chance at a better hat than this thing, right? This cotton hat instead of the heavy one. All right, so that's what it's for. Now, you're asking, well, what would it be worth? For this particular item, since there's none on the auction hall, you could list it for however long you want. I always usually go for 48 hours. If you notice, it does change the amount. See, post fee, it does charge you, and you do not get that back, okay? So you always are charged a small fee. So make sure it's worth it. So we have you can also say kinship only. That means if you're in a kinship only, your kinship can buy it. I don't recommend you doing that unless you have a huge kinship and you're telling everyone I put something up for you guys, okay? Just leave it for everyone on the server. You won't make any money otherwise. So initial price, buyout price. Initial price means where do they start bidding, so people can fight for it, right? So usually you want your buyout price, I would say, at least 25% more than your bid price, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So at least you get what you know you're gonna get. Most people will just buy things out if it's small like this. So for example, I think I'm gonna sell this for, I think a reasonable amount would be like 20 silver each. So I'm gonna sell it for 55 as my total, okay? So, and then I'm gonna start the bid price at 30, and you know, you can do whatever copper you want. I mean, it's just copper. Copper is pretty insignificant. Basically think pennies, but again. All right, so I'm gonna say post. Boom, all right, it's posted. I paid a little bit. It says down you have successfully posted it in your comments. I mean, in your chat bubble down here. So now it's on there for the next 2 days. So someone can buy those two things straight out for 55 silver, or people can bid on it until a certain amount, and obviously until they get to 55 silver, and then someone's just gonna buy it. So that's how posting works, okay? So now you're saying, okay, well, how do I make the most money on the auction hall store now that I know how to use that? Well, again, let's look to the auction hall store here a little bit, okay? So we have the sorting things, right? So you can use unrestricted, right? Kinship only. So if you're searching for, you have a large kinship posting things, you can look for only things from your kinship, things that are unrestricted. That doesn't really matter as much. Level, this matters, okay? So if you're looking for, let's say I'm looking for a cloak. So cloaks are only under light armor, no matter who you are. So look, you go to cloaks. Now let's say I want a cloak between 120, the levels, and 140. Now again, I would make the cap big because a lot of times that with crafting, there's different levels of gaps with levels. So if you do like, if you're level, let's say 15, and you do, I want a cloak from level 14 to 16, there's a high chance it won't be there. So I would do like cloak from level, 10 to 20. Do a bigger gap, and then you can look at all the choices they have, right? So again, I'm gonna go search, and there are no cloaks for that right now, apparently. So now let me go, let's make it a bigger thing. Let's see if anyone's for 100. Oh, look at that. Well, there are some for level 15 or 115, right? That people are selling, and 100. So then you can look and say, oh, these aren't too bad. So if you had a character that was level 115, you needed a cloak. You can kind of, by the way, if you press control and you left click on an item, you can see how it looks in your cosmetics right there. Little side note. But yet, see, he's selling it for a buyout price of $9.50, 7 hours left, or I could bid on it for $7.50 and hope that no one else bids on it before that 7 hours is up, right? You get the point? That's how bidding works, right, everybody? So then you got, so cloaks. So again, one good thing that sells are crafted items. These are crafted. If you look at the top there, see the blue, his blue one that I'm comparing the one I have equipped on? See how it says crafted by Byrneth? So he crafted that and then sold it. When you craft an item, it does not bind to your character until you put it on your character, right? We talked about this. You cannot sell bound items to the auction hall, whether it be bound to your count or bound to your character's name. For example, this mark right here, virtue, says bound to account. I could put this in shared storage and trade it with my other characters because it's bound to account, but I could not sell this on the auction hall. And for example, if I hover this bow, which is mine, it says bound to Zollin. I cannot share this with my other characters or sell it on the auction hall. The only thing I could do with this bow is sell it for vendor trash for that flat 97 silver right there, 59 copper. Okay, good. So now let's continue learning how to use this top thing up here with the auction hall. So now if you go over to stats, you can literally explore by using stats. You're like speed bonus. Okay, I'm not gonna have anything but speed bonus. Search. Well, that didn't bring anything up. All right, well, nothing's being sold with speed bonus. Damage bonus. Boom. All right, well, here we go. We have things with damage bonuses. Damage bonuses would be things like tactical mastery rating, right? And physical mastery rating. Again, those are things that increase your damage. So it gives a bunch of armor pieces because that's what's going to give you that. But again, I rarely use those. Really, when I am searching and looking for things, you can, and now here's a little trick too, by the way. If you just left click on medium armor and search, it will search all these categories inside. Or you can click one of them like, I want to search hands only, which are gloves, right? Oh, there's all the gloves that are being sold, right? And all the different levels. The levels here, the current price, buyout price, how long it's going to be on there. Bids, it shows these all have 0 bids. No one's bid on these. This little bid button. And then it also has here the name of the item, and it also I believe that actually that is the seller. I'm sorry, not the name. That is the seller right here, the name, and then the stats that the thing gives, right? This gives vitality, agility, critical bonus. You can hover it. It'll show you more details right there, right? The glove on the left. Okay, good. Good? You guys follow me? All right, sweet. So now, what's a good way to make money with the auction hall? Now that we know how to use it and search and use all these different functions here. All right. Well, again, crafting items like I talked about in the money making episode. Barrow iron and dwarf iron ores are worth a lot. For example, I'm going to take barrow iron, I'm going to drop it in the search thing. Now, if you want to, you could obviously go and find the crafting and then find resources, and then that is going to give you all kind of resources. Or you could type a keyword. You could say, I want ore. So you can go and type in ore, right? Make sure you type it right because it is very finicky. So you have to type it correctly, the search. And then you see all these different ores that are being sold. And it will not all be on one page. This button down here is very important, guys. There's another page. So I'm going to click and continue. And here's another page of ores, okay? So that's all the ores that are being sold on the server. Again, if you notice, these are all being sold for a lot of gold. Quite a lot. Because, again, people need the ores, and a lot of people don't always collect it for it, right? A lot of times people just hold it on for themselves to craft their own characters. So, again, good way to make money. So what if I want to drop this in and then search? There we go. All right. So, wow, look at this one. 216 stack. And he's selling it for a buyout price of 89 gold or a bid price of 33. Now, 23 hours left. This could be a very good one for me to bid on, right? Because that's a huge difference in price. And hopefully there's 0 bids on it. Maybe no one will bid it and I'll get it for 33 gold. That's a lot of iron ore. Now again, I could do this. I could buy up the whole market and then I could split it up and start selling it in different stacks, right? That's what you could do. You could totally go all capitalist and be like, haha, market's mine now. And then if it was really good and there's enough people on here to really keep the capitalism realistic, someone else would try to have competition with me, and then the prices would come down, and that's the goal. But of course, that doesn't always happen in games, right? And that would be a great way to sell it. So now you can kind of get a gist. So this guy's selling 20 for 14, really high prices, right? So I could sell a stack of 50 for like, realistically, probably like 25 gold, 25, 30 gold. It would be undercutting this person, and someone would probably buy it, right? I'd make 30 gold. That'd be really good. If you're a newer player and you don't have a lot of money, 30 gold's a lot of money, right? If you're like level 30 and you got 30 gold now in your inventory because you sold a stack of 50 of this, if you go collect dwarf iron or this, it takes a while to farm it, right? Like I talked about in the making money in LOTRO video. But that would be a good way to make money on the auction hall, right? You go collect resources and then you feel like you have a real profession, right? That's kind of fun because this game really does reward you with that, with profession. And then again, if you get high level crafting and you're over here and you look in the auction hall, no one has anything for level 20s with armor, right? You can make a couple pieces, you know, of expert light armor for 25 or whatever, right? You know, this item. So it's for level 25, right? You could put a couple hats on, a couple things, like put a set, upload that. You'll probably see that set disappear because someone will want it, right? And you make some money, right? And again, you can compare by going in here and going, well, my crafting items are level 25 for this one, so I'm gonna go look for my light hats. So you go into head, right? And then get rid of your search thing and then say I'm gonna go from level 20 to 25, right? Search. Oh, look at that. Someone is selling a hat at that level. They're selling it for 1 gold, 775 pieces. Now, let's say you make a whole entire, you know, make 3 or 4 hats. And you sell them all for a build out price of 1 gold and 500 silver pieces. And then, you know, whatever your bid you want to be. Great way to make money, right? That's how you're going to use the auction hall, okay? So if you're a new player, hopefully that helped you guys out. Again, all these different things. I'll do a real quick rundown of what all these search things are, okay? Light armor, it's the only place you're going to find cloaks. It's all the light armor, obviously. All the medium armor, all the heavy armor. Class items are things that you would need for your class. Not really needed quite as much the way they've redone it anymore, so that's why you'll probably... Let me get rid of the level search. Make sure you clear your search engine sometimes, guys. There is a class. Look at that. Hunter flasks, right? Which gives you fire on your arrows. So somebody crafted these, and they're selling them for... Look at that. These 2 people are basically have a corner on the market, right? And that's a reasonable price, I think, for a 50 stack, 11 gold, right? Because most hunters use it all the way up. And then again, so these are all specialty items for lore masters, right? You can get your Raven cosmetic, right? Someone's selling a tome for very cheap, 150 silver. That's really good. But then you can see like some things are more, right? Tome of the Dog. This is a cosmetic little cute puppy dog, 12 gold, right? Again, if you find these things in an instance, which you do find sometimes, you could turn around and sell them on the auction hall if they're not bound to your account or character. Remember that. Don't just vendor trash stuff if it's something cool like that, where you got a Tome of the Cat, and you could sell that on the auction hall for, you know, a lot of gold. This guy's only selling it for 70 silver. That's a steal. I mean, again, you don't know if you're going to get it, right? Because when you post something, it does matter how much you post it for, right? So if I was going to post this for 50 gold... right? And a startup price of, let's say, 45. Now again, oh, it does not change the price of the fee. But if you notice, since I'm selling such a big chunk of ore, see how it costs me still 112 silver? So you don't want to post it for an unrealistic amount of money, because if you do, what happens? You lose this money. Yes, it comes back to you and goes into your stuff, but still. Kind of, again, you can cancel a post, right? So I could cancel if I wanted to. Click and cancel. And basically what will happen is I will lose the money I originally posted, right, for it. And also, if it runs out of time and no one buys it, it'll also just come back to your mailbox, okay? Just go to a mailbox, or if you're a VIP, you can open your mailbox right through your social panel, right? Oh, excuse me. This one right here, social mail. So I can open it either way. Or if you're not, you can come up here, go to this, and then you go over here. You can, you know, detach your item and stuff. This is sending a new one. But you click it and detach your item, say okay, you know, that kind of thing. So that's how you get it back. And that's also how when you buy something, that's where your stuff will go. So again, let's go through the rest of this. Class items, crafting items, recipes, very good. A lot of recipes are one-time use. If you have recipes that you want to sell, definitely keep the recipes that are, say, one-time use. See how it says right here, single use recipe? It's very good. Very good way to make money on the auction hall as well. So again, all the different tiers of crafting for all the different people, right? Recipes. And then crafting tools, that's a good one. People always need crafting tools. If you're someone who can make the kit, the crafting cool kit, that's very handy for people. Decorations, this is things for your house for fun. People sell stuff, make furniture, all this kind of fun stuff. It's a good way to find good stuff for your house. Food and drink, give you your bonus stats and things like that. Hobbies, this is only for fishing and stuff. So fish, anyone selling any fish? Nope. Anyone selling fishing poles? People are selling fishing poles, which do give a little bit of bonus, +5 to the fish skill. All right. Jewelry, this is a huge one, you guys. Selling jewelry. Having good jewelry is hard to get, and there's a hard to become a good jeweler. So this is a good one, jewelry. Legendary items, scrolls, weapons. These are things you can get later and stuff. Now, the way they've done the new legendary item system, you're not going to be, a lot of it's, you do it from Rivendell. You just buy it with a currency you earn. So you're not really going to see a lot of this in the auction hall anymore, as much. So that tab's going to be a little bit outdated. But outfits, these are basically cosmetic things. So these are not things that give you stats. They're just things that look cool. All right. So for example, I could have this little note, this little love note, Valentine's note affection, just walking around holding it, right? So like, there's fun little things you can just do for role playing with that. Potions and salvants. These are things that will remove all of these things: cure fear, cure poison, cure wound. I have a whole video about combat and what those different things do. But it's nice to have those, and they'll have a certain level of strength. So someone's selling these, this is for a level up to item level 150, so maximum strength of 150. So this is a max level thing, because the max level is 140 right now. So the reason it's max 150 is because if a mob is slightly stronger than you, it can remove it. Because that happens. That's how they make it challenging. So those are being sold for gold. And then you have premium items, lock boxes. So you can sell the lock boxes. These are things you earn all the time. I highly doubt, see how they're being sold for so little? I highly doubt people are really gonna buy these as much. I don't know, I have not done it myself. You could try it, you could test it, it's up to you. Perks, stat tomes. Perks are things like XP boosters and stuff. I have a video on the most efficient way to do XP things that'll be coming out too on the channel, so check that out. Travel maps. These are things, stat tomes are a stacking tome that allows you to get a permanent stat addition, and you have to have the right number to continue the order. So that is why if you have a stat tome that's like Tome of Might 10 or Tome of Might 3, if you can't use it on that character yet because you don't have Tome of Might 2, you're gonna have to go to the auction hall and see if someone's selling Tome of Might 2, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. That's why some of these are so astronomical though, like 700 gold, right? 70 gold. 700 gold, that is ridiculously overpriced. Don't buy that. 70 gold, if you have the money, it might be worth it to get that last tome you need to continue adding a little bonus stats, right? Because they add a good amount or high level. Traveler maps, these are just one-time use maps to a certain location, okay? And then reputation items, these are hugely, you make a lot of money on the auction hall, guys, using these, okay? A lot. So reputation items are things you find that if you hover them, they will say, gives you a certain amount of faction right there in green, Thorns Hall, 30 points when you use it, right? So there's 20 times 30, or 100 times 30 right there, so 3,000. And again, that's the reputation thing, which you will need sometimes to get trade with certain vendors around in certain locations. You have respect with the people there, right? So these are really good to keep because these can always be sold in the auction hall, and people need these on new characters all the time. Great way to make money, reputation items. Shields, light, ward, and heavy, right? That's makes sense. People, those are good things to sell. Weapons, all the kinds of weapons, obviously. And then we got barter items, which are items that you can barter for things. These are another great way to make money if they are something you can actually barter with, right? Sometimes they're just bound to your account, but there's something in your inventory you can actually sell and barter. That's cool. Dyes, these are things that can change the color of your clothes with thing. I could do a whole video on that. I think I might already have one on the wardrobe with that, so you can check it out on the channel. Essences, this is the more like 105 level to area. They're an item you actually put on to your item, when they have essence slots. The newer levels 130 to 40 don't have that anymore, but those are still probably good for those levels. And then festival, they have fireworks, instruments. These are going to be really good to sell if you have one of these, or craft one for a minstrel, because they actually get bonuses to minstrels. So only a minstrel can use it, that particular one, but look at all the bonuses it gives. And then of course you can find normal instruments for just fun playing at a normal bard. You could just buy a normal instrument. These ones just have bonuses for only minstrel class. Pipeweed, that's just usually for fun. No one's selling any. Task items. So if you do want to, remember in my buyout video, sorry, not my buyout, the money making video, you can use task items as a way just to do vendor trash and make good money. But some people will just actually bring them here and sell stacks of 50 for a certain amount of money, because some people like to finish their tasks real quick like that. So it's another way to make money with them if you don't want to just vendor trash them. See, a stack of 50 would have sold for 80 silver, but this guy's trying to get 6 gold out of his 50 if someone will buy it. More power to him if someone buys it. That's awesome. And then cosmetic pets, right? But no one's selling it. Oh, someone else. Yes. Cosmetic pets. Tome of the Swirl. These sell for a decent amount when you get the more rare ones. Crag Slug, 100 gold, right? These are just fun things that'll follow you around on any character. It's kind of fun. So anyway, we have covered the auction hall, my friends. I hope that helped you guys out. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you want further things, I'd be happy to make videos in the future, of course. And thank you to Mrs. Orange Blossom here for helping us out with crafting. The auction hall. And we will see you guys all in the next episode of Voice of the Rings. Thank you so much to my wonderful Patreons for your support. You guys are awesome. And guys, subscribe button's gonna be right there. It's free. And if I earned it and you enjoyed, don't forget to like. Next episode will be up there in the top left. And LOTRO Tale, my main content and entertainment content, is down there. So I will see you guys all in the next episode of Voice of the Rings. Happy auction hauling.